Hello Aries, it's Serene from Insight Readings with your insights for the month of 20. And we'll start off again with the eclipse that's happening on the 14th of But before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much for your likes, your comments, your views. It inspires me to carry on with this. It is a passion and it is a great gift for me to hear from you and for your support of the channel. I thank you for that. Okay, so we'll go into our eclipses and just remind you that our eclipse on the 30th we had in the head of the dragon, the North Node, the one that just once continually, it was in Gemini, it was a lunar eclipse. So there was a door that shut there with the lunar eclipse, something went closed, and that would have dealt with your third house. Your third house deals with your how you communicate, your relationships, your humor. It deals with siblings, neighbors. It's also the house of travel, sort of short distance travel. That would have come into it. It would definitely have dealt with maybe even cousins or your courage, adventures, all forms of communications, contracts, publication, writing, fine arts, all that type of thing. But there was a door that shut there with the lunar eclipse. Now we have the last eclipse of this year, which is the 6th one. It is on the 14th of November, depending where you are in the world, and it's in Sagittarius, the South Node. The releasing part of the dragon, the letting go, the South Node, past karma, letting go, releasing, excreting. Sagittarius is a sign of future, optimism, forward movement, always wanting to expand, going for it, goal orientated, planning, and our eclipses are now between air and fire, which is a lot lighter. It's Aries energy, fire energy, a lot lighter, easier to navigate through than earth and water that we've been dealing with. So there's faster moving changes that are coming through here and a lot easier and lighter for the fire signs and air signs to deal with. So the eclipse in your 9th house is about your belief system, your ideals, long distance travel, higher education. For me, it also deals somehow with litigation because of that higher education or the professional sort of side to it. It also would deal to courts or law or legal issues. Religion and philosophy comes into that because of Jupiter for sure, and your higher mind or academic matters, abstract knowledge. Astrology falls into that, faith and wisdom. Travel to distant lands, which I don't know with our pandemic if that's a possibility, but there's something new that opens it. It is a solar eclipse and maybe a new beginning, maybe dealing or communicating with people in foreign lands, moving home to far off places, and that was definitely something that was a dream of mine. I have an Aries sun, but I've given up on that. I think there's no possibility. I've realized that as well. It was a dream and a yearning, but I think I've released that and let it go, and accepted where we are, and this is home. This is what it is, So the ideals or the belief system I had, somehow now there's a door that's shut and something that is new. So that could be something that happens with you as well. Remember, these eclipses work with, this would resonate if you have your sun in Aries, your moon in Aries, or Aries is your rising sign, and this would make more sense to you. So you need to know where those are to make sense. So morals and ethics would definitely come into this, and expansion and freedom, visions, Those sort of things would definitely come into it. And there's something new that comes through. But in the mix, we have Mercury, which is combusted by the sun. So there's something that is hidden, something you're not aware of, that'll come to its play. And it's also in its detriment because it's right opposite to where its ruling sign is. So it's in its detriment. So be aware of that. That something might be hidden with regards to this. That you might become aware of later. You've had, I'm going to mention the other planets because while this eclipse happened, these planets are where they are, so they play a role. In your 10th house, your outer position in life, your social status, your career, your mother, these are planets, the 10th house would rule that. There's been difficulty there because we have Jupiter in its fall there. For the last year, and Saturn has been here for the last 2.5 years. Pluto's brought up something that needed to come to the fore, that's been in its fore and needed to be dealt with. So for me, as a Aries sun, my career is gone. 2.5 years ago, gone. It just came to a sudden ending. And I now do something completely different. I'm studying astrology. I love the tarot. I do these YouTube things. I don't earn what I earned. Never ever will I do that again, I don't think. The ivory tower was just a rat wheel, hamster wheel, treading water constantly. But yes, there will be something that was difficult and that comes to an end there. There is dignity that is picked up when Saturn and Jupiter move to Aquarius, and there's lighter energy again. It's out of the earthy energy, it's more masculine, and there's movement again. For whatever that resonates for you, it'll pick up, and that will be possibly networking or something like that with friends or having allies. We've had Neptune in our 12th house for ages. I don't even know. I have to actually look. But it's there for quite some time, I think before 5 or something like that. The 12th house is a blind side. It is the house of self-undoing, the house of isolation, secret enemies that you're not even aware of. So Neptune has been there. Neptune is about deceit, fantasy, illusions, things that you believed were there or not there. I've suffered that extremely. Believed in people, believed in things, and it was an illusion. It comes to the fore. I think these eclipses bring it all out now as well. But yes, you learn the hard way, and realization does come to one's door. With the 12th house is definitely about secrecy and accomplishments, and it's a tough house to navigate through. But it is a house of final liberation as we grow with time. Mars in Aries. Aries is your ruling sign. Mars in Aries is very strong for Aries at the moment. But also you need to watch your health because it is a house of self, who you are, what you want to change, what you want to bring about, because it is trining this eclipse as well. How you communicate, that might be something as well. There might be a love-hate relationship. There might be irritation because Mars rules Scorpio, and we have Venus there, which is the sign that is opposite to Mars. So there's a love-hate relationship between the two. There might be communication that might be difficult in your 8th house, and that is settlements and other people's money, mortgages, traumas that you've had, death possibly that could come up as well, that you need to deal with. And with Pluto in there, that there's finally dealing with that difficulty that you've suffered possibly. And with Uranus right opposite in your 2nd house, when Uranus went into this house of Taurus, the house of earned income, that's when it was just the income that I earned was gone, and career ended at the same time. And income is earned in a different way. It's earned in an occult way, which is Scorpio now. So it's not what it was, but it's different. It definitely is a lot deeper and easier. And I've really been blessed with the other people's money when it comes to being able to take care of myself by spouse and what has come through to me. But yes, Uranus brings big, rebellious, sudden changes in dynamics that we don't even plan or expect or understand. Whatever it is there for a reason. But something new opens in your 9th house for your Aries. So I'm going to do a oracle card and see where that goes. Aries is the point, it's the fire point where it's a cardinal sign, and so is a Capricorn. So there's been this square between these planets which has been extremely difficult. You might have difficulty with a parent as well, being the 10th house, and it would possibly be the mother. That's a possibility that would come out. Or a boss, elders. And it says clouds, signs and visions. It did come in reverse, so we'll read that. Maybe the clouds are clearing for Aries. Aries sun, Aries rising, Aries moon. As I say, it is what it is. And communication, and isn't that exactly the houses that are highlighted? The Spirit's amazing. I mean, 3rd and 9th is communication, long distance, it's any form of communication, writing, but siblings as well. Something is a door shut, and actually I must give you a little bit of history. I have a sibling that really is difficult to deal with. We love her dearly, but she's difficult to deal with emotionally. And I think a door is shut there. We still care for her, but the emotional trauma and manipulation that has been suffered for years, I think is gone. I think I've let it go. It doesn't affect me. I just have a sense of peace. And that might be something that you have experienced as well. Let me know, Aries. And possibly even a neighbor, if you've had difficulties with neighbors, that could be something that comes through as well. I'm going to pause as well. I find it in the book to read to save time. Okay, Aries. So, clouds, signs and visions. And I've actually got a giggle. It says, walking around underneath a dark cloud has got to get old after a while. The longer you stay under it, the larger and darker it becomes, enveloping you and everything you do. Even though you may feel lost in the clouds without any direction, there is guidance. Stop and take a break. Slow the thinking down. Step back from everything for a short while to allow the sun to shine through a bit. The signs are there, and if you step back a bit, you will see them. And it has got old, let me tell you. As an Aries sun and an Aries moon, it has got old walking underneath a dark cloud continually. But never mind how we've tried to get out of it, it has been difficult. And there's this constant illusion and nonsense and deceit going on where one doesn't even expect it, you know. It hasn't been easy for the cardinal signs. It really hasn't been easy. But we Aries, we can do this. We have to. It is what we signed up to do. So the other one, 3. So it says that communication, and those are the 2 houses that are lit up for Aries. And it says, indicates a need to communicate your thoughts and feelings and have the courage to speak your truth. Instead of keeping things to yourself out of fear of judgment, ridicule, or conflict, you must express your honest opinion. By doing so, you are releasing that energy from your being and promoting a healthy body and mind. And everybody thinks that Aries is such a forthright, out there in your face person because of Mars, but it's not so. It really is not so. I would definitely say Sagittarius is definitely out in your face and forthright more than Aries. Yes, it provoked. Things would come to the surface, but on the whole, not particularly. Even though Aries is a cardinal sign and a point, it has to be under being provoked. And it says here, this card indicates that you have something important to say. You are being encouraged to communicate or express yourself through writing, speaking, singing, dance, acting, music, or art that falls under these houses as well. You may prefer to compose poetry or note your thoughts in a journal and keep your ideas and feelings to yourself, or you may choose to voice them to others so that you give and receive guidance, wisdom, and hope. Whether your message is intended to inspire those around you or to simply heal yourself, it is important and necessary to help raise your own vibration, which in turn raises the vibration of the world. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are encouraging you to communicate and express your truth. When you are honest and respectful and seek to serve the greater good, which Aries wants to do, the Emperor card, but always so misunderstood, your message will be received in the best possible light. Honest communication is key, and the affirmation is, by communicating truth, I create a healthy, harmonious life. This is such a beautiful reading and resonates so much for me as well. And I hope it does for you, Aries, whoever you are that is watching this. So I'm going to pause and then lay out our tarot cards and do some tarot to add to this eclipse and what it brings for Aries. Okay, Aries, so I'd like to call in my spirit guides. So guardians of the four corners, angels, ancestors, and sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. Thank you for your clarity, wisdom, understanding, and discernment for the messages for Aries as we navigate through this year, closing with the eclipse of the 14th into the new year. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so Spirit, what are the messages for Aries? Sun, Moon, and Rising. What are the messages for Aries? Thank you, Spirit. Slow moving energies, some goal, something to do with something tangible. Okay, so Aries, here we start off with the Knight of Pentacles. Is somebody that is slow moving energy, it's earthy energy, so it will relate to the earthy signs, which is Capricorn, and we have Capricorn here as well. Might mean something to you. We've just had those eclipses and all the heavy planets lying in Capricorn that have brought devastation to different parts of our life, but at the same time growth as well. And then of course Taurus is earthy and Virgo. So there's a goal, there's an intention, there's something about finances, money, planning for the future, something that has longevity, property possibly. But there's been such slow movement that it almost feels stagnant. The thing about this Knight, if it's not a person, you could be dealing with a person as well. This would be somebody that is in their late early, that you're dealing with. It's very detail orientated as well. But I feel it's your energy that something has been really slow moving. But the thing about Pentacles, even though it's slow, the details are researched so well that it always bears fruit. There is longevity. Saturn is a slow planet. It's a timekeeper. And Saturn leaves a reward, an earthy reward. Saturn in Capricorn. And that is your, as an Aries, Saturn is your 10th house, your career, your public life, what you put out there. So that here we have a card, again, a combination of a cycle, an ending of a cycle, a closure of a cycle. That's what this eclipse brings. And it is a closure of a cycle. The Wheel of Fortune bodes very well for finances as well. But there's a cycle. It was a fate and a destiny. Some fate that has come to a closure with the South Node. The eclipse, something is highlighted. As I say, for me in the 9th house, of wanting to relocate to a foreign land. My father is Mediterranean, and I desperately all my life have wanted to go and live somewhere in the Mediterranean, and specifically in Greece. He's Greek. But I've never had that opportunity. It's always been denied, and that's the fate and destiny. There's closure to that as well. I have that sense and acceptance now that it's something that wasn't meant to be, and never mind how much I tried, everything stood against me, and that's a possibility. Yeah, it could relate to dealing with authority as well. If we look at the next card here, the Capricorn card, which is 10th house as well, something that came to closure, finality, a new career, dealing with elders, older people, difficulties that have been brought up with Pluto, maybe with your mother, but the closure is there. The Devil is the Capricorn card, but it's also the card of self-sabotage, keeping yourself tied to something even though it's not good for you, it's toxic, being involved in something that is unhealthy. Were you free to set yourself free? You need to use your own willpower, but you keep yourself there because you're still getting something out of it. For example, you might be stuck at a job that you hate, but you do it for the money's sake. And I understand that we need to have a material life, but in that difficulty and you self-sabotage yourself and your health because you're so unhappy in it. But you stick with it because you're getting something out of it. But you're free to set yourself free, but not, life is so difficult. You understand where I'm going with that. So some more clarity on this. There is closure of something that has been extremely toxic, something that has kept you stuck and tied to something very difficult. This final closure, that wheel of fortune, the wheel has been turned. The wheel of fate and destiny has finally been turned. Five of Swords, so something that you were planning, plotting, a goal, an intention for the future. There has been victory. Somebody has come in, or you have. There has been victory at all costs, victory at the expense of somebody else. Definitely have suffered that in life. Five of Swords is conflict, where you've been in conflict, and somebody runs in at the end of the conflict, picks up the swords and claims the glory at the expense of somebody else. You weren't even in the fight. You weren't in the difficulty, but you claimed the glory, the other person or you yourself. I do feel that this is done to you, Aries, Five of Swords. Fate and destiny, something that is closed, a culmination of a cycle. Four of Swords is saying rest from the conflict. Rest from the conflict now. Lay down your sword. It's not yours to fight. It is destiny and karma to take this forward. Everybody pays the price somewhere. So even though you feel you might have had a karmic injustice and you were stuck to something you couldn't get free from, because this is something stuck to that wheel, and until it gets to the right place, it's stuck to the wheel, stuck to something. It's saying lay down the swords. It no longer serves you. Take a break, take a rest from the conflict, heal yourself. And here's the death of that, the ending of whatever was toxic. It is Scorpio as well. It's a card of Scorpio. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, Scorpio would be your 8th house. It could sadly be it could relate to something that comes to an end, a closure, as something new comes in as well. The death of a trauma. If I look at the two signs, they would relate to your career and to resources, but other people's resources. So possibly there's something there that comes to a final closure. It is the ending of a cycle. It's death and rebirth. We have Venus at the time of this eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, and we have Jupiter in its for Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn at the time of this eclipse when fate and destiny is there. So I do feel that these planets play a big role here. And that's something to do with your income, your finances, your resources, maybe something that has been traumatic, something that you have lost, that somebody else claimed. There's a setting free of that. There's an ending to that now, as the wheel moves up and moves forward and you can relax and rest. Yes, you've been defending yourself in something that has been challenging, something that you've been stuck on, that you had planned, the details were there, you're taking a break from it, you're getting clarity in it in a more grounded sense. Maybe looking at it in a more fiery way, a Leo type of energy in a sense. We have Leo at the top there, but definitely fiery energy, and we have the eclipse now in Sag, which is a fire sign. And your ships are coming in. Whatever it is that was lost, taken away, stuck, not moving, difficulty. There's a finality because the Wheel of Fortune says the ships are coming in. Whatever needed to be planted, the choices that were made. Those two rods are in the ground. He's got his hand on the other one, expectantly waiting for that ship to come in as a new dawn rises, because he knows intuitively there's something coming to him. There's growth. The two become three. There's growth for something that you've been defending, looking out for, expecting, and a closure to something that was toxic, a rest, a respite, something you've been defending, some goal, some intention. What is the final card of this spirit? The clouds. The clouds are lifting. Communication comes through. Four of Pentacles. You were so invested in this. Something you invested in. Something you put a lot of time and effort in, to do with property, finances, settlement, money. She actually has the key. The key has unlocked the treasure trove. She's opening that, something that has been hidden, something that was denied, that was locked away. It's open now with healing. She has this green cape here. Healing with openness, something sturdy, some investment that comes through, some investment that pays off, some treasure that is discovered in all of this as it opens. So we'll do an oracle card here as a closing for Aries, and see where spirit goes. So there are a lot of fours in this reading. And we have another 4. So I'm going to add to this reading the numerology part. So let me just pause that and get it in the book to save time. Okay, Aries. So we have 3. So there's 3, and there's the 3 of Wands. So if there are multiple 3s in a reading, it could indicate something that is a group activity or situations involving more than one person. Maybe that's what you've been stuck with. In my case, absolutely the situation. Then it can also indicate delays. This is the slow moving energy that we've been suffering with, but the promise of future success that comes with it. Now remember, 3 is a master number, which makes that 6 of balance. And 6s, because the devil card is, which is a 6 as well, indicates adjustments in your thoughts or your attitudes, which is definitely a big feature for Aries, or the conditions around you. And it could represent the ability to transcend those difficulties, because you get that balance now. 3, 6, 6, and then 4s. 4 of Pentacles card is actually a 4. 4 of Swords. So fours is fruition or manifestation of an idea, along with the formation or the space where things can grow, because it's the four legs, as I say, of the table that is grounded now. And you have two, which is another four there as well. So if I look at this card, I haven't read it, there was love offered here, but somehow it was toxic. There's bleeding, something difficult. You came in purity, a belief system. Sorry about all the noise. But you bled. You bled for whatever you went into innocently, purely. And I'm going to read that from the card, and it says, prisoner of mourning. There's this ending as well. It says disappointment, absolutely. Disappointment, lethargy, and lost love, absolutely. So you have given your emotional energy to another and may now be feeling let down, disappointed, and vulnerable. There is confusion around you as to where things went wrong, as when you fall in love, you love completely, and you put your all in a relationship. Be assured the issue is not with you. The timing for this union was not right, and someone better will come in your life, and the anger and hurt you feel now will seem a million miles away. Love will soon come into your life again, and any negative feelings you now hold will disappear. The tide is about to turn for you. You may not know it at this stage or what you need, but you certainly know that you no longer require what you no longer require. Your vulnerability at this time is understandable, but do not let negative experiences hold you back. Remind yourself that you are a beautiful soul and that you deserve better. And absolute Aries, remind yourself of who you are and what you deserve. And don't let others take your glory. Communicate. I'm finding that difficult myself. To speak out for ourselves, to speak out for ourselves. So with that, I'm going to end this wishing you a very merry, happy, festive season with your family and friends, and to spoil yourself and to be kind to yourself. Thank you, Aries.